All right. And so this is going to be recorded. Just want to let you know. I'm quite sure you got the notice just now. Um, all right. And so what state are you in, or are you going to be doing business in, Tony?
Let me get you got my voice right now?
Huh?
Okay, yeah, you can hear me. All right. Well, I'm back and forth between West Virginia and Missouri. So I be I be I got trust in both. So I'm with my family in both, so really both.
Which one do you own property in?
I currently don't own property. I got family that own property in West Virginia.
Um, all right. So I guess you can use it. Is this something that they're open to, or is it going to be a fight if you wanted to like use their house as a nonprofit organization?
To be honest, I was with them. I already told them because I looked into the charitable organization stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually do that. Like my mom just had an employee stay with her like a month for free till she found a place. Like she do shit like that all the time. So they would trust me with this. Like I'm the trustee of the family trust. Like I've been bringing them along on this journey. So they've seen some of the things and interactions I've had, and so they trust me. So yeah, to answer your question, yes.
Okay. And how about you, Lena? Are you a owner of property? Are you still there, Lena?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was muted. I'm muted
Okay.
myself. Yes, I am. I have my house.
Okay, you do.
I do.
All right, perfect. Because even though this works, even if you aren't a property owner, but it works even better, you get more benefit being a property owner because you're going to be able to either purchase that property and have it exempt from taxes automatically, or just you can do a transfer of your deed and transfer it into the nonprofit that has the recognized tax exemption, and then take that to the county recorder and let them know so they can update your file and they will take you off the tax deed. So every time you'll still get a statement, but it's going to have 0000. It'll be zeroed out.
You talking about for property tax?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
You will not pay any more property taxes. So some people, this saves them maybe 4,000, 8,000, 12,000 a year, depending on
good.
the size of the property.
Oh
So
yeah, that'd be great.
that's what I'm saying. This information is this, it's valuable information, and it's given away at a big discount. It's not like I'm trying to charge a few $1,000s, which
Oh yeah. Oh
clearly
yeah.
worth it.
Right. Right.
Um, all right. And you said so it would most likely be West Virginia, you said, Tony? That was correct, Tony? Or he's not even on the meeting anymore. Oh my God. I'm trying to.
Oh Lord.
All right. So I guess I'll just have to go ahead and mirror it off of you because I need someone to interact and speak with, and he's gone. Um, so
Did
what
you want to call them?
no. Let me see. I'm looking and thing. No, he hasn't said anything. I don't know what happened. So what state was your property?
It's in Georgia.
It's in Georgia. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I think I have that one. All right, so I got it right here.
Okay.
Um, so basically what you would have to do, of course, is gonna like I'm giving you the information here and I'm giving you all the benefits and the possibilities, but
Okay.
we would most likely get together at another time because some people don't have all the money right now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that expensive. It's just you're paying for the incorporation or the registration of the
Mm-hmm.
nonprofit. Everything else is pretty much free. You just need your
Oh yeah.
EIN. That's free.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would have to pay me, of course. I'm going to help you register the business, get your EIN, and then apply for your tax exemption. And then
Okay.
once you get that, you're able to go pretty much anywhere you want and open up a tax exempt account. And you know, like if you shop for the family at Costco's, you can go to Costco's and get the they have the gold, I think it's the gold one where you actually get cash back. It's like reward points. And then you
Okay.
have the tax exemption attached to the account. So when you're checking out, you can click it and make it a tax exempt purchase. So this is saving you money throughout your household and
Oh
also
yeah.
able to write things off because now your household is set up as a business.
All right. Okay.
So I'm gonna see if I can I'm gonna see if I can pull this up on the screen for you. Um
Okay.
let me see. All right. So you go there. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. It says launch Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just want to make sure I have the right screen up. And let me see. All right. I got the form right here.
Okay.
Oh, it's that. All right. Five. All right. So this is the form that you would need. This is the name of the
Okay.
form right here. Form is ST5. This is for the state of Georgia. Um,
Okay.
of course, like I said, this is it's kind of putting the horse before the carriage. It's basically, like I said, you have to get the nonprofit registered first.
Right.
Once you register it, they're going to ask you for your articles of incorporation. You would get a certified copy of it, and you would submit this as proof of your existence. And once you do that, you would fill this out. And I believe sales tax. I believe this one isn't sent into the Department of Revenue. I would have to read the instructions, but of course, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, this is coming later. But I just want you to see that this is real as possible. You know, pretty much all purchases made by that entity will be exempt from taxes.
Okay.
Oh, he's back in the waiting room.
Okay.
Um, so basically, the easiest way to set up your nonprofit is to set it up as a religious organization. Uh,
Okay.
the reason being is that you don't have to go through the IRS to get their exemption recognition, which you actually have to pay for. And
Mm-hmm.
the part about it is that you can lose it. Like they can actually revoke it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons for revoking it is if you don't, I think, renew it, you have to pay to
Uh-huh.
renew it, and if you forget, it'll lapse. So there's plenty of ways you can lose it, but as a church, the IRS says in its own codes is that you're not required to apply for official recognition from the IRS. You're just automatically exempt because you are a religious organization.
5013.
Yep, 501(c)(3). But we
Okay.
don't you don't need that when you're operating as a religious organization. It doesn't really apply to you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it's pretty much, I'm not going to say in all circumstances, because what we have to realize we're up against is a lot of the people you're dealing with in commerce are pretty much ignorant to a lot of laws. They don't know. They're just doing what they were taught. Whether they say, I've been doing this 20 years, I never heard of this. It doesn't mean that they know what they're basically saying. You have to show them the proof of this and different things. And sometimes, just be calm, polite, respectful, ask for a supervisor, and someone should be, aware of this.
All right. Okay.
So one of the first things that you want to do is come up with a name for your religious organization. Uh, something that you want to remember is using the keyword within the name, somewhere ministry, church. Um, you don't have to put the word religion, but something that kind of give the person that lets them know, like gives them notice that it's a religious organization. So that's
Okay.
one thing you want to work on, want to write that down, and then work on the name, flip it around, mix different words until you come up with something you're comfortable with. You don't want it to be too long because in the event you open like a bank account, they're gonna have to put that name on your card. And from what I remember, I'm trying to say, yeah, I got a card on me. There's only a certain amount of characters that are allowed um, on the card itself. So I don't have any of my business cards in my pocket. But I think it's like 26 characters. So you want to be mindful of the name because anything else is going to be cut off. It won't fit on the card and sometimes on the checks as well. So I was definitely expecting a lot of people because that way there would be questions. Sometimes I'm not sharing information, not intentionally, but when I'm asked questions, I could develop and ask, give you more information. But I went through quite a few states I got here. I got all the information here. It's just, I don't, people on the replay might actually need this information, but it's like weird going through it and there's no one there to discuss it with. But there's another way. I'll give you another way. It's kind of a shortcut of getting the tax exemption recognized on the federal level and without going for official recognition and without paying a fee. If you actually go and get your EIN and under the different things, you'll click under nonprofit. You'll keep going past the trust and all those things. You go down to nonprofit. And then I think it says other nonprofits or additional nonprofits. In there, you will go to where it says government agencies. And then it has federal, there's a federal, state, city, and I think it said local. Any one of them will do. It doesn't matter. Like some people ask for clarity, which one should I select? And I'll be like, which one that you're comfortable with, whichever one guides you to. But once you do that, you become a government entity. You would still have to create a corporation to go with that number because EIN numbers are just like VIN numbers on vehicles. A car will get a VIN number. So your corporation is the car, and then the VIN number is the EIN. So they both go together. You can't just have one and say, I have this business. Once you do that, there's a step that you can do. You go back to them and you apply for it's called a governmental unit letter. Once you get that letter, it will basically say, we can't tell you if you have official tax recognition, but it's assumed in most jurisdictions that governments are exempt from taxes. So it's like a sneaky way, like they're not openly admitting it, but they're letting the person know reading the letter that, yeah, you can't charge a government taxes. So that is also proof that you are a government entity and you can show that at any place and have your taxes waived.
What was the name of that form one more time?
Of the form that you would get to show them. It's a
what you were saying.
It's a governmental unit letter.
Okay. I did have a quick question.
You're breaking up a little bit.
You were mentioning, like, if you're starting EIN or exemption, that's the process if you already have an EIN?
And could you repeat that? Because you broke up really bad. I can hear you now, though.
Okay. I'm going to text it too if you can't hear me this time. But what I was saying was the ST, that ST5 exemption, is that for if you already have an EIN? And the second process is if you're getting one?
No, you probably want to start from
Let me.
scratch.
I'm gonna text it.
You probably want to start from scratch and get
Okay,
that
I got you.
because I don't know how you set it
Right.
up or what you selected when you got that number.
Right. Overall, well, I know uh, my assumed name. That one was actually created as a nonprofit, as solely as a trustee to, you know, it's called a plan.
A plan administrator?
That's one entity. Yes, yes. That is a question I want to ask you too, though. Is like that's not my trust, but the plan administrator is my trustee. So could well, I guess I will start from scratch because I do need an irrevocable trust where everything goes, and so I'll
Mm.
do it that route. But I'm just kind of wondering, as far as that plan administrator, here's what I ask you: could that plan administrator be a financial institution as opposed to my trust being one, or does it have to be that foreign trust?
Um, this is it's crazy because I do this a lot of times. Whenever you're posting, there's a lot I have to clear up in your thinkings that are actually incorrect, and sometimes you're botching and confusing things. Um,
Right.
you can't have a trustee and not have a trust. It's an oxymoron. It's impossible to do because a trustee becomes a trustee once the grantor forms a trust, and then he
I got you.
appoints a trustee. There was something else you said too. I wanted to clarify your thing. Sometimes you're mixing so many things with so many things, and that's why respectively, I'm always telling you like just get the understanding of this. Concentrate on it and get that without throwing this and this and that. Because then I'm like, all right, you had it, but now you did a whole bunch of other stuff, and now you don't have it.
I got you.
So I forgot everything you asked me, but it was something. Yeah, I could have gave you clarity on it. Some of your thinking is not correct, actually. I mean,
Okay. Well, the question I was getting to without all that extra stuff was I was wondering if the plan administrator EIN, it's an assumed name, but the EIN I set up with the Internal Revenue Service, the description was it was a plan administrator with the intent to operate as trustee of, my current trust at the time. Um, so I was wondering if that plan administrator could be a financial institution, um, as opposed to me using my living trust.
I would have to look into that to give you a accurate answer. But the thing again, I want to get some clarity. At any point, did you create a trust instrument?
Yes, yeah, I did.
You did. Okay, because I want to make sure. A lot of people say they have a trust, and then when you ask them that question, they don't have one. They say, "No, I got an EIN number. I got a trust EIN," and they think that's a trust, and it's not.
Right. Yeah, I'm clear on that. I got you on that. Yeah, I got my indenture. Um, from what I've learned is that's pretty much private, like no one needs to see that. So I
Absolutely.
do move around with the certificate of trust, you know, if I need to let somebody know it exists.
Absolutely. The only thing that they're supposed to need, but sometimes they're greedy and they assume we don't know, so they ask for the entire trust. But for the existence of a trust to be known, it needs to be who's the grantor, who's the trustee, who's the beneficiaries, and when the trust was established, and maybe the jurisdiction of the trust. That's all the information that needs to be seen. And sometimes, just for clarity, to let people know, because you'll get in there and start arguing with these people. There are times when they are going to ask to see your witness page, your witness signature page. They're going to ask for it because if it's not each state has a different requirement for how that must be. And if it's not conforming to their form and procedure, they could deny it or, deny you to like use it to transfer property or anything like that, record it. So that's very important to make sure you look in your own state's trust laws because people like, where do I get this information? I want to learn more about trust.
Right. Yeah, I did. I know I need to look into it more, but for my COT, I looked up, like COT requirements for West Virginia, and I'm going to record in St. Louis, but I'm recorded in West Virginia. Like they know me in there now.
Hmm.
I wanted to add something to it. I found this during, it was either Form D or it's the Treasury Account Entity Manager Change form.
Hmm.
But oh yeah, it was the Treasury. Now the Treasury told the clerk that, hey, they want the trust, but I'm not giving them that because their website says they need a sheet of paper that, the part of the trust mainly that says that the trustee that I'm nominating as account manager, it
Uh-huh.
has to have the power to act alone. That they just need to really see that in the trust. But
Yeah.
they'll get like the date and all that too, everything you said. I'll basically give them the certificate of trust with that extra sheet of paper, and
Hmm.
that should cover them.
Yeah. Because that's what because I actually went I didn't record, but I transferred my property into the trust. And that was something actually, like you said, they needed is the powers of the trustee to make sure that he's not acting outside or he's not breaching the trust. Because if those powers you haven't granted it to him as a grantor in your trust indenture, then he doesn't have it and he can't perform certain operations. So that's why you have to be very specific when you're drafting your trust. If you're going to draft your own, if he has the power to do all banking, to open new accounts, to close accounts, to buy securities, sell securities, all these things, sometimes that language is in the body of a template of a trust. It's pretty well written, but if there's anything extra that you want in there, being able to like flip houses or renovate, all that stuff, you want to be able to give that trustee those powers so he can act within the guidelines of the trust.
I got you on that. Well, I mean, since it's just us, I mean, I would like to get clear, but I have done that portion too where I reread West Virginia and they was like they want in the certificate of trust they want verbatim. And that's why this one the lady asked me about if I did a lawyer write it because it had like A through U of trust powers, and I did what you said. At the end, I threw in the letter U because there was a filing that I had my godfather do basically like get this. I did a fee simple form and he got it notarized. He just signed it notarized. So I put in there like, oh, the trustee has the power to file any documents that the grantor has already, filed or signed or anything like that. But I did kind of read through there. I need to read through more, but it has like the being able to convey property, being able to, loan property. I need to make sure security's in there though.
Absolutely, to be able to deal
I,
in securities.
right. Okay. This is what I wanted to ask you next. As far as I read the court test, I read the control test, and from my understanding, basically, since this trust is revocable, it's foreign. It would, I want to say the correct word, it fails both those tests, or I guess the state fails those tests when it comes to a revocable trust because the
Mhm.
grantor can take powers from the trustee and they don't have complete control. Is Am I correct there? Am I missing anything?
Not exactly. And I've been making a lot of posts trying to clear this up. Everyone's looking to try to achieve a foreign trust. And here's the thing, you're working too hard because whenever you create a trust, it creates its own separate jurisdiction. So it is foreign. So you don't,
Yeah, I
people
remember you
get
saying
these,
that.
they're going to get EINs and, over the line getting 98 numbers and coming back and saying my trust is foreign. But the thing that is controlling for, if your trust is domestic or foreign is the trust instrument, not the EIN number. That's why a trust has to have a jurisdiction, has to have, it'll say, notarized or formed in state, county of blah, blah, blah. Because
Got you.
every county is foreign to the state. It has its own operating charter and bylaws. So
Yeah,
that's
I
why,
just figured it out yesterday, man. For real. Like I looked through the deed And my family owns two pieces of property. One property, now the town is Mason, West Virginia. That's the town, that's the jurisdiction. The address that's commonly known as, I figured out that's actually at the dang on assessor's office, but the real true address is Clayton Wagner District, Mason County, West Virginia. But they have a separate property, small property that it's actually in the village of Grantsburg, but they right beside each other. So I know I just figured that out the other day by reading the deed. So, all right, but I'll let you speak though, man. I was just trying to take opportunity while I had.
Yeah, the each trust has its own nationality, and its nationality is governed from where it was formed. So I made a post about this one time. I said if you really wanted like a foreign trust, it can kind of hurt you in some ways because the trust protects property in the